craft, and it's just all about how the actors play out their roles as we have gone through the loading screen here. A minute into Summer's Rift, West Point Esports, PH, Team 1 versus Skambalow, and this is going to be quite the show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this is gonna be, Hyron, this is one of the things that I like about this, no? This is, I can say it, no? This is the best teams in the Philippines right now are fighting for that lone slot para makapag-represent sa atin for the SEA Games that's coming in. So, I'm kind of excited on how this is gonna go. Let's take a look on how this is all gonna unfold. This is a story that West Point and Skambalow are looking for, and they're gonna go for a gank with the death sentence.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be in the SIBOL national team pool, no? So they're candidates for anything that might be coming up. It's not set in stone just yet, but Skambalow here, they've already dealt quite a lot of damage for West Point, but they do have a lot of sustain in that. But early damage is always good, and that's where Karma Ezreal really thrives. Every missed death sentence is an opportunity for Iman to push some damage, and here, there we go, with the Airy, gonna come through as well for Skambalow. But still, Potions still coming through. This is just them contesting the level 2, and Iman and Dawn win it pretty much by default.
Yeah, this is classic. Ezreal and Karma would have big advantage because they have a lot of poke potential, and YJ1 and Krisha would just have a hard chance. They just tried to get something now with the death sentence in the early parts of the game, but the damage talaga is still hard to deal with. Later on, maybe if the gank comes in for Revelate, that might be good. But looking at the rotation of the junglers, alam mo yung gusto nilang gawin. They want to go for an easy gank later for the bot lane kasi it has been an underlying theme between the fights ng teams na to.
For sure. And as I think the lanes to watch here, we're already seeing Parzival. Irelia. See, Parzival needs to respect the Irelia every time. Kahit magsi-CS lang yan si Jerem, he needs to respect na at any point, Jerem can pivot into going for a trade. Right, so he needs to conserve those quick draws. He needs to be able to respect that damage. And here, Cresho, they need a lot of help. The Revelate is right around the corner. He can actually go for a gank, can bait out. Oh, that sentence was so close.
They have
that YJ. Oh, that hit.
Oh no, YJY. One RQ is gonna be end. Oh, this is gonna be the fight. They're going in. Cresho not gonna be able to hit the death sentence, but everyone's here though to help them out. And Revelate gonna get holded down. Azra might go in for a gank. Oh no, he can audacious charge, but the heal was cancelled. That's why Azra back.
Tumama pa yung wind becomes lightning then. So this is West Point in a pretty difficult spot already. Skambalow has smelled blood. As I said, they're a pack of wolves, right? And Skambalow's been slashing at West Point's legs in this bot lane. They find some blood. They said, okay, now's not the time to pounce at our prey, right? Let's let them run to their den bleeding, and then when they come back, that's when we pounce, right? They've already burned Ignite and Flash from Cresho. They burned YJY's heal. That's already pretty big, even though Iman and Dawn also burned their own heal and Flash.
Whew. This is just so hard for West Point Esports right now. Even Parzival can't even find his way onto the top side. Good rotation from Azra. That's why they weren't able to do anything. Revelate having a hard time on his jungle alone. So this is going good for Skambalow so far. Giving the Azra the advantage in the early game there is just so good, especially for a team like Skambalow, which is very sobrang snowbally nung team na to.
For sure. But looking at it though, there's no big moves just yet. I mean, there's a lot of attempts, a lot of proactivity from Skambalow here, but you can see that because there's no deaths, they actually ended up being even on summoner spells. They actually just reset here and just look for the next opportunity to fight. Drake is going to be coming up as a potential objective. It is Cloud Drake, so even though I do appreciate the out-of-combat movement speed as well as the ulti, the out-of-combat movement speed, it's just I don't think it's too much of a priority. Like you get it if it's free, right? You get it if it's free, and that's really where you're not going to put in your resources. Like you're not gonna fight for that 3v3. That's something you get after you get a kill already.
Yeah, I can see an angle in where West Point Esports is not going to contest this. Skambalow is just going to take it for free, which gives them a very good leeway on getting those ganks, especially that they have a Shinzao and a lot of dashes on their end. So it's going to be good for them to take a lot more flashes and a lot more objectives to the bot lane that the hold came in. YJY has a flash to work with, but playing it safe here in the bot lane. Sobrang hirap for West Point Esports to do anything, because right now the damage from Skambalow is just big.
There we go. Even though they didn't get a kill, what's important is they got the priority there, and they've pretty much ensured, okay, Revelate's not gonna come here, and their bot lane is not in any position to go for a contest, so let's just go for the Cloud Drake right here. It's pretty much free. No beats missed here. West Point actually just uses that. Oh, Parzival, a bit of trouble here. Revelate's right around the corner. The perfect flash cone, the flash is over for the assassination comes through, but it's gonna be the revenge kill. Perfect execution right over, and they cannot go for the follow-up.
Yeah, that is a good kill for Skambalow, taking down Parzival onto the top side. We're expecting that he's really going to be winning most of the time in the fights in the top lane because he can dash a lot against Parzival. Just hitting that flawless duet is enough for them to win. But again, a lot of the fears, Calumnia doesn't really pop off at this point in the game. We're just going to be waiting for him to be getting most of these items bago siya makapag-burst.
Yeah, pretty much all Calumnia is doing is just laning for gold, right? He's here for longevity. He has corrupting pots, he has the biscuits, he has the lost chapter, so he can stay in lane as long as possible to not miss a beat when it comes to CS. And he's just clearing the wave so that Seanmaker has a little bit more trouble going for any roams. So for now, he's satisfied not getting any kills, not getting any ganks. As long as Seanmaker's not getting any more kills than the first blood, I think Calumnia is in a position where, okay, he's fine, he's chilling, he's in his lane, he's vibing. Meanwhile, the rest of West Point, though, is kind of stressed out. Like, Revelate wants to make something happen. He could just power farm to 6 here, but getting a crucial kill here for YJY or Parzival is something that they could really afford to get right now.
Yeah, what's really hard about this, especially in the Meron and Trundle on the comp, it's not. We all know how much of a sobrang hina ng wave clear ni Revelate with the Trundle. Compared to a Shinzao, it's gonna be easier for Shinzao to roam around the map, get all his camps while doing it. And now, with this, they might go for a gank in the mid lane. So, naghanap na si Cresceo ng way out. Kasi they're not gonna get a kill in the bot lane anyway, so let's find some success anywhere around the map.
Yeah, and that's really where Cresceo should shine. They pinpointed the Rift Herald as a point of interest. They're about to fight over it. Yeah, this is gonna be a 4v3 or a 3v2 if ever it comes up. Seanmaker's gonna try and go get the priority in this lane, but since Calumnia does have the longevity in this lane, still has 2 biscuits, still has 1 charge of Corrupting Pot, has the Lost Chapter still, he is just able to get this done. So this could end up as a 3v3.
Have this might though?
Yes, it's not careful. No, Skambalow steals it. Revelate does not clutch out the smite, but now Azra though taking a lot of damage. Crescent Guard's not going to be able to defend him from that. That's going to be the rest of the fight coming in. Seanmaker goes in for the clean up, and Jerem though goes down. So it's going to be a 1 for 2 in favor of West Point.
Okay, I thought that's gonna be a fight in favor of Skambalow, but what's important there is that they were able to take the Rift Herald in their favor, so West Point Esports would have the bigger advantage here. I mean, getting that 2 kills is important, especially for their laners, but Parzival, oh no, he's not gonna be surviving this. He doesn't have perfect execution, so Seanmaker just gonna back away.
Parzival, he was sweating there. Because he gives another kill to Seanmaker there, and that's already a problem, right? Like, Seanmaker paid the Merc Thread stacks against Calumnia, but if he gets another kill, that tax has pretty much already been returned to him, right?
Yep.
Yun yung kickback niya.
That's what's good about this, no? Yung Merc Threads talaga, whenever you fight against a Vex, you need the Merc Threads in order for you to have a good time whenever it comes to fighting. Yeah, that's one of the things that they need to be careful of, especially yung mga carries nila. When they don't have the Mercury Threads, it's gonna be hard to fight against the Calumnia, but now Calumnia is on a pretty good spot, getting that Lost Chapter for himself. A while ago, he was able to get something that he needed, but Azra wants to put the Rift Herald down in the bot lane.
Yeah, it seems if they can get a good dive here onto YJY, get a crucial kill onto Dawn. I mean, he's not in dire need of a kill right now, but a kill would accelerate his game plan a lot. And basically, let this bot lane be over and done with, so that Dawn and Iman can leave, pressure mid lane with Seanmaker. Once they get if they get the second Rift Herald later, then Seanmaker is going to be able to roam around the map a lot more. Revelate takes out Jerem on the top side though, so that's pretty much just a clean gank from Parzival and Revelate. Clean.
They can take this Drake in their favor, but Revelate would be able to TP. Now that they have Gravitum on YJY, they can contest this if they want to. Kasi meron silang enough CC to take down one member.
Looking at, yeah, it's Gravitum Infernum, which may not be the ideal team fighting if you want to deal as much DPS as possible, but it's really good at initiating if say Cresho or Calumnia are not in position. So Skambalow respecting that. They are just contesting. They're doing the vision dance right around this corner, but a fight could break out. Azra has the Rift Herald. He can pop it. He still has a few minutes on that, so he can pop it just to give West Point a cost if ever they contest this Drake. But it doesn't seem like they're so aggro on this Drake, right? They're just playing very, very patiently, setting up the waves, letting the teleports come through from Parzival. So this is gonna straight up gonna be a 4v4 or a 3v3 around this Drake. West Point Esports is gonna be starting this. Skambalow. This is dangerous for West Point. This is, since they are on blue side,
not a good position.
This is so easy for Skambalow.
Yeah. That's why they can get punished there. Especially, there's a lot of members who are super low in HP. And it's a Mountain Drake. That's why it's super hard. Good punish from Skambalow. They were able to get the platings in the mid lane. They were able to get the Mountain Drake. And XK's coming in, man. This is where the rotations are going to be super crucial.
And this is really most important for Sean Maker and Azra. With the Hex Gates, they're going to be able to make some sneaky rotations, get those assassinations and those flanks in for themselves. And Sean Maker, if he can get another kill here, he's going to be able to start racking up even more. Like, it's like the rich get richer, right? That's how it works for champions like Akali, other champions like Riven on side of Jerem, but we didn't see it here. But if West Point Esports also uses that to their advantage, like they can use their comms to set up cross-map plays here, that could potentially be an angle that they can go for to outplay Skambalow.
Yeah. Skambalow right now just taking a very good hand of the objectives since kanina pa. They were able to get one Rift Herald and 2 Drakes already. That's the good thing, not a lot of tower pressure from the side of Skambalow. They might be able to go for this angle here. Okay, that pillar is going to be good. Azra is going to be the target. That's a good timing for the Crescent Guard. And now they have a good time. They lost the ultimate from Parzival, so they're going to be losing a chunk of their damage.
Yeah, a perfect pillar exchange for a perfect Crescent Guard. West Point does come out ahead of that a little bit because they had Azra had to burn his own flash.
Oh no!
That's actually pretty big. That means Azra cannot use his audacious charge as freely as he can. Because what usually happens, how ganks or how chases with Xin Zhao usually fail is that you use your audacious charge too early. They use their dashes to get away, and you have no way to follow up until your audacious charge is off cooldown again, right? So right now, without the flash, West Point actually can leverage this more aggressively since they know that Azra does not have as much capability to catch them off guard.
Yeah, and I really like that Revelate is just playing around the map, and he's not really focusing on the CS because he knows that he can win a 1v1 against Azra whenever it comes down to it. Pero Azra, medyo umuiwas siya dun sa fights talaga, kaya hindi siya makakuha ng mga ganks na hinahanap niya during the early game.
He's farming well,
and
though.
That's good for West Point Esports, yeah. And Skambalow right now, they just need to play around the objectives like what they're doing, and they can probably just play the long game against West Point.
Ooh, is this gonna be a 4v3? Yeah, 4v3 around Herald here. West Point needs to be careful. They don't have too much vision. Oh, they have like absolutely no vision here. Just doing this blind. Yeah, so at least Cresho is actually moved all the way up here, so they can actually go for the contest. Nice smoke screen coming in. West Point will they pull the trigger?
Tanky.
Yeah, it's very tanky. Nice pillar.
Very tanky right now. Pillar onto Azra. Super low in HP. He's gonna be flashing in for that, but they have the reset coming into Marriage. So that's gonna be the fear. Oh no, a double kill already to Parzival, and this is not gonna go good on their side. Iman is also gonna pull down. That's gonna be West Point Esports taking a 3-4-0 and a Rift Herald in their favor.
Did you see that? That was perfect tag team wrestling yan. Ang nangyari dito sa West Point Esports. Cresho lanterns out one of his teammates, and then another takes his place and then gets the smackdown on that Jerem. So here's what we see. So Revelate gets out, and in comes Calumnia, right? To go for the fear, get those kills. Absolutely perfect coming in from them. And that gives them the Rift Herald, which I believe they already used in mid lane to open up the map for themselves. West Point Esports, very small lead here. But if it's concentrated around Parzival, this is very, very good because this means that he is positioned very well in the solo against Jerem. But in the team fights, the Hullbreaker loses a lot of gold value here. So in the end, I think it's actually relatively even when it comes to team fights that involve Parzival.
Sobrang hirap for the side of West Point. I mean, for Skambalow to be doing anything at this point in the game. Kasi right now, it's hard for Azra. He can't even go for a fight against Revelate kasi he doesn't have the damage yet. And also, he can't get close because of the pillars na pinupull out ni Revelate. And that is the, kumbaga, double-edged sword whenever you're picking a Shinzao. It's hard to stick to targets if you don't have the CC.
It's also hard to get out. That's another big thing about Flash earlier. Because it was already burned by... Okay, so it's like this, like... Flash is on a, like, what, 4 or 5 minute cooldown. Revelate pillars, Azra has to flash, but yeah, Revelate always has his pillar up. So the next time that happens, Azra doesn't have flash, and that contributes a lot to how Azra has been going down, has gone down twice already in this game. So West Point Esports next Drake gonna be coming up. It is the Hex Gate or the Hex Tech Rift here, so attack speed really good here. Sean Maker caught between a rock and a hard place. Nice, easy ninja escape.
Yeah, he was able to get out though, but now they're gonna go for a punish. Calumnia is gonna be the target. Jerem has Stain. JY is gonna be the turnaround in their favor. They don't have a lot of damage to work with. The Crescent Guard would be able to put them to safety. And that's gonna be the pillar. They force a lot of flashes from the members right there. Iman going for a hold, and they're able to finish anyone. Sean Maker onto the back line. Parzival is gonna be his target. He has to fly this route right here on his side. He's gonna be going for a perfect execution. Sean Maker is gonna go in for the kill, and that's gonna be the turnaround. 2 kills already, 3 for 2 in favor of Skambalow.
Big
That's
shutdowns.
a good play for their side.
Yeah, big shutdowns being picked up there by Dawn. Very messy fight from both sides. West Point especially though. They tried to force it even after YJY, which is understandable. A lot of their power is concentrated around Parzival and Calumnia. But after Parzival got exhausted, they still pushed for the kill. In comes Sean Maker, right? And even though they were able to kind of mitigate Sean Maker because Cresho had the on-point flay, they still continued on with the fight. They got hit by the rest of the damage of the two-shot barrage, and at that point, it's just a unfavorable trade here for West Point. Not as bad as it could have been, but the shutdowns on Dawn are very much relevant coming into the first 20 minutes of this game.
Yeah, what I like about this, and when they saw YJY out of position, they went all in. They wanted to get the kill on YJY kasi big chunk of damage yung mawawala sa kanila whenever you play around the composition where Aphelios is the star. If you take down the Aphelios and a lot of dashes are in your hands, it's gonna be easy to take that out. Kaya Skambalow just used it, and yeah, that just won them the fight there. And again, West Point Esports needs to be careful in these kinds of fights kasi whenever YJY falls down, sobrang hirap makipaglaban.
Here, YJY cycling through his guns here. Actually, he's trying to cycle through Crescendum as fast as possible, clearing the wave, which might suggest, depending on what's next on the gun rotation, which might suggest he wants to calibrate for a little bit of safety, make sure that he doesn't get just jumped on by Sean Maker. But here comes Sean Maker. Oh.
Ooh. Well, some damage, perfect executions out. They have Revelate to get the kill onto Jerem though, but oh no, almost getting the kill there on Sean Maker. But
Shinobi escaped
was able
there.
to get out to the TP, and also taking down 3 towers. At least now they have the tower pressure against Skambalow.
Yeah, Revelate now working with Parzival, and which is the correct play here. Like he could try and babysit YJY here, but I think the right play for Revelate talaga is what he's doing right now, where their eggs are in the Parzival basket. Revelate is there to like incubate those eggs, right, and make sure that Parzival hatches into a beautiful chicken. But definitely that's the case where he's constantly going with Parzival. Even though the Hullbreaker loses a little bit of value, it's more than made up by Revelate locking down Jerem, taking away his resistances, and just being another target that Jerem has to worry about while fighting Parzival. And he's 2 levels ahead of this Irelia.
Yeah, and again, Hull Breaker is still hard to deal with, especially when you're fighting against a Graves that could stock armor. It's hard for Jerem to deal any damage at this point, especially on a 1v1. Yeah, right now, it's a good thing that West Point Esports is playing around Parzival instead of YJY kasi mamaya pa naman magiging relevant si YJY eh. Kaya they just need to use that. Pero West Point Esports needs to stop the next Drake from happening. Kasi if ever makuha ng Skambalow na naman yun, that's gonna be a stall in favor of members right there of Skambalow gaining a free slow on their attacks.
Pretty much. So has to be, so it just really has to be denying the soul here. Skambalow has been consistently getting these Drakes. West Point, actually this 2k gold lead at 21 minutes probably gets closed down by the mountain, by the Hex Drakes as well. So the Hex Tech Drakes as well. So West Point Esports, both of these teams are pretty much even. They just have to play around where their gold is. And of course, it's for Parzival and Revelate, and for Skambalow it's gonna be on Dawn. But they are just quickly running through these turrets, right? Like they have 2 marksmen, they have Trundle. These turrets melt like butter.
This is a smart play though. Look at how West Point Esports is rotating around the map. Alam nila na when it comes to clashes, they're gonna win, and they're not letting Skambalow take another chance of taking down YJY whenever they can. A front to back is what they need for West Point Esports if they want to
we
win.
outie.
And they're not letting Skambalow. And again, the Hex Gates. This is what's good about this though.
When the squad rolls up, that's West Point in the Hex Gates right there. And yeah, and there also one other thing. They know that because of how the gold is right now, it's actually when it was like 2k 1k gold, it was a little bit more even with Skambalow. So instead of going for a straight up fight where they're not sure if they have more in terms of stats, in terms of just straight up gold value, they instead go for the turrets because those are such easy targets for this comp. 2 marksmen plus a Trundle, and this extends their gold lead by a little bit, which could eke out just little bit more value, which could let West Point Esports get ahead in terms of these team fights.
Whew. This is the crucial part of the Hex Gates, no? Kasi if ever they want to take the Dragon Trade, they're gonna be having a hard time, but they're going in for a fight. That's gonna be the death sentence on to Jerem, and he's gonna pull down right there. That's a good kill. They lost a chunk of their damage. They won't be able to do anything anymore. West Point Esports could take this Drake, deny it, probably go for a Baron angle kasi wala rin si Jerem. A 5v4 is a good fight to be in.
Definitely. This denies the soul as well. Skambalow is not in a position to try and pressure anything. They already took the Drake's Cresho, already looking for an in here. Who very, very dangerous arcade shift there by Dawn, but no follow-up. Okay, so YJY was going for Severum plus the Crescendum here, which is pretty much the team. It's not as offensively team fighty as the Infernum plus Crescendum, but it is definitely on the more sustainable side when you just want to drain tank everything. Like Sean Maker comes in and you get that Severum lifesteal off of it.
Yeah. This is just so hard for Skambalow right now. Having no priority onto Azra is just so hard for them to deal with, especially with the junglers. It has been, so far, it has been dictated by the junglers whenever it's between West Point Esports and Skambalow. Now Revelate knows the answer against Azra. Even though he's not getting a lot of CS, he's getting a lot of priority for his laners, and that's what's good. And also, being the sole frontline in the team, having the ultimate on his hands makes it easy to tank a lot of damage. I like that they went in for that turnaround for West Point. Skambalow just need to make relevancy on most of their members. They have Sean Maker and Jerem. Just go to the backline, take out YJY. That might be the answer here.
It's just that they can't really like man fight effectively, like 5v5 straight up, because once again, West Point Esports just outstats them. Like Revelate steals your defensive, like Azra's defensive stats or Jerem's defensive stats. Parzival is just so big right now. Even with the Hullbreaker losing value, he's just at a point where he is just dealing a lot of damage and life stealing it all back with Shield Bow. Meanwhile, West Point, they've basically decided that okay, Skambalow doesn't. Yeah, they don't have full vision here. They didn't. Okay, so they kept this ward in place because they were trying to trick Skambalow, right? Like usually people will clear that and then that will give vision on the attacker of the ward. So there they just like bait Skambalow by moving around mid lane. Maybe they're just clearing their jungle. Maybe they're just setting up ganks around the side lanes. And the Baron being taken there was very, very sneaky. Good call by West Point. Skambalow had no intel, and they had to work on imperfect information.
And also, because they only have the TP and Jerem, they don't have a dedicated front line for them side, or at least someone would go to the back line. Azra can't do that right now. So that's why they needed Jerem during that fight, and it'll take a long time for the TP to come in. Kaya West Point Esports went in with that angle, especially na wala rin naman TP si Parzival, so let's just go with this.
Definitely. Here's Skambalow. Oh no, here comes the dump from Calumnia.
There's no one in here to help him out though, but at least he was able to take down a lot of HP from Seanmaker. Not also getting the perfect execution would just help them out. And medyo mabilis lang naman yung cooldown ni Calumnia, pero because of this TP, this is gonna be crazy though. Again, another TP to get out, so they lost another one of their priorities.
And this is two birds in one, right? They spend a lot of resources, or they force Seanmaker to spend a lot of resources, and then they start pivoting onto the top side jungle. They already have their mid lane pushing in. Parzival is going to be walking up as well very, very soon. And Revelate, I mean, he can't really get attacks in on the turrets, a little bit too dangerous, but just the empowered Baron empowered cannon minion is enough to take these turrets slowly but surely down, and these waves are gonna crash onto mid and top at the same time. Jerem has the teleport here as well. Oh, Dawn dealing a lot of damage though. There, he has Gravitum Infernum. This is really big. Seanmaker's looking for it.
Yeah, they don't have the perfect execution though, kaya hindi pa sila masyado nagko-commit, but because they lost a lot of things there, they might be going for a very, very sneaky play here. Remember, they don't have a lot of siege for the side of Skambalow, kaya mahirap i-take down itong Baron infused minions. So they can take down this tower in the mid lane, probably gonna go for an inhibitor still. Revelate is just being a good tank for the team here. They can take this down and nobody could answer back on the side of Skambalow. They use the empowered Q there, so no more shields for their side. Vanguard Stairs is gonna come in, that's gonna be the flash coming into their side, that's gonna be a lot of CC, and they won't be able to get in because the pressure from Calumnia, they can even do anything, even with a perfect execution. This might be the chance for them to take this inhibitor down, maybe go for the top turret also, for them to have more pressure against Skambalow.
And now, Skambalow, they're gonna try and get some revenge kills. That's gonna be who actually gets a kill onto Crescio. This should stop the momentum on the top side, but there's still a big gaping hole in the middle of their base. Then Inhib is down. That's natural pressure for the next few minutes. Their Baron buff should be running out a little bit soon, which means they don't have as much momentum coming to the side, but they've constantly been pushing it in. They have 5k gold lead. Drake is gonna be coming up very, very soon. Skambalow could try and contest this, but West Point has already positioned themselves early. Parzival dealing a lot of damage to Azra. The collateral damage as well. The shield just barely saving him, and now they're going for the Drake, denying the soul once again from Skambalow.
Yeah. This might be part of the plan, no, Hyro, ng West Point Esports since a while ago. Give the early Drakes to them, and let's stack the Hex Tech Drake. Kasi that would help YJY for sure. Kaya they went in for that. Even Parzival would get a chunk of the help from this. Ability haste also for Calumnia. So this is really great, no, for West Point Esports. Wag lang sila magkakaroon ng any mistake, and Skambalow would have a hard time.
For sure. And here, even if they... Okay, the biggest mistake they could make here is to give a kill away from Revelate to Dawn. That's really the biggest mistake that they could make here. If Dawn picks up a kill on the Revelate, that's basically a free pickaxe for Dawn, pretty much, right? So here, they're gonna go straight for the dunk, though.
They're gonna go in, they have the holds onto their hands. Seanmaker still has the perfect execution to get out, and that's gonna be YJY chasing him down, doesn't even care about the damage. In West Point Esports, oh no, they took down Seanmaker and Jerem, and this might be the towers falling down with them.
They don't have the Baron buff anymore, but they've built up quite a sizable minion wave. Top lane as well, sineset up dito ni Parzival para sa crash down dito sa mga inhibitors nila.
Nice
clearing these waves. Skambalow doesn't have the same amount of wave clear that West Point has. Who death sentence their Azra was saved pretty much. I think Crescio would have taken that, no? I think he would have taken that even without Parzival around the area, but look at that, how fast they take down these turrets. Dawn having to turn tail and run. Revelate though, a little bit scary, but in comes the Shadow Surge.
Yeah, they tried to go for the Gravitum onto YJY, but that is kind of scary. Going for the top lane, the pressure is there, taking down even the inhibitor, and this is gonna be super minions all around for West Point Esports.
Yeah, Gravitum not quite hitting there as well. Of course, yeah, Calumnia Shadow Surge still on cooldown. They're both purple. But they've basically opened up the entirety of Skambalow's base. So this is 3 nails in the coffin here for Skambalow, and it's gonna be very difficult for them to like scratch their way out, because these are 3 inhibs going down. Baron's gonna be coming up soon, but they still have to deal with all the minion waves. Jerem preemptively pushing this wave so they don't have to worry about the top lane pressure as much, but this Baron is still gonna be the game ender. Skambalow can try and steal this to try and give themselves a little bit of a fighting chance, but they don't have a lot of intel.
Yeah. They could give themselves some time if ever ma-steal to ni Azra on a miracle steal, but it's gonna be hard kasi Parzival is just gonna be in front of them if ever they try to go for a steal here. But because of the pressure that almost everywhere is given, sobrang hirap nito for Skambalow. They don't even have effective wave clear. Yeah, they won't be able to contest this, but Parzival trying to look for an angle here against Azra. He would be able to see him though, and now he's just pushing them back. But look at the death sentence onto that. They have the ultimate onto Calumnia. They can still go for it though. TPs are coming in, and the towers, or rather the minions, are crushing in their base.
Yeah, Parzival pretty much just solo gate kept the Baron there from Skambalow, and with the Baron minions powered up, a huge wave building up bot lane. They just need to escort the top and mid, come crashing down like a tsunami onto Skambalow's base, and that's going to shake up the foundations here and give them that 2-0, coveted 2-0 lead in this best of 5.
Whew, this is going to be the last fight. Banker's Edge has been used. Going on to Parzival, onto the backline. Flawless Fluid wasn't able to hit. They are looking for Jerem. He's going to pull down. The GA is going to get popped up. But there's a lot of minions to work with. So this is going to be hard for Skambalow to turn things around. But Jerem was able to get out, and that's going to be good. But they can take this down. And this is going to be the game for Westpoint Esports. They're not going to be able to do anything. And this might be the end, though. And that is it. They weren't even able to answer back. And that's a 2-0 for Westpoint Esports.